Hello, YouTube. This is your girl, Carmen Kaboom, broadcasting live from out here in these streets. So, I want to talk about domestic violence. Today, I witnessed a guy striking a girl that he was involved with down to the ground and went Fraser. And she got up trying to fight him ever the more. And a lot of people were saying that were witnesses to the fight. Well, he had no right. He's a sucker for this, and he's wrong for putting his hands on a woman, on a female, and blah blah blah. And the girl, she was like, "Oh, I'm gonna make a phone call, and I'm gonna get him. I'm gonna show him since he want all the smoke and all this and all that." But my thing is, and it all started because she was walking down the street with this other guy. And in my mind, I saw them first before, and I was familiar with her, being involved with the guy that, assaulted her. And, you know, she had to have known what his reaction would be, especially considering, he has demonstrated previously when they first started messing around that he was about that life. So I was like looking like, what the entire fuck is going on when I first saw her walking down the street with this other guy. So her dude was walking down the street at the same time, and they met up at the same intersection. And both of them casually walked across the street, and the dude was walking behind them, not far behind. And once they made it across the street, he just went in. And, I was thinking they was just talking at first, yelling and screaming. And I turned away momentarily. And the next thing I knew, when I turned around, he was knocking her to the ground. And she got back up trying to fight him. And a man is naturally much stronger than a woman. Men were created to be stronger than a woman. We cannot fight a man as a woman. We just can't do it. I mean, we can, but you're going to lose more than likely. And, as it relates to domestic violence, men can be a victim as well as women. There are some women who do fight men, and a lot of times a woman can have the upper hand considering, what type of weapon or whatever she has in her hands. And sometimes she can just use her hands to overpower a man. So, we have to take into consideration the type of people we're involved with and the circumstances and so on and so forth. And that's just my opinion about it. And, I oftentimes hear a lot of females talking about, how they have been victims of domestic violence. And a lot of people probably will take offense in my position, but I just feel like you are really a weak woman if you let a man beat your ass, especially if you let a man beat your ass time and time again, and you continuously go back, make up for with him, and come back for more, and he beats your ass again and again and again. I mean, you got to be on another level of stupid. That's just my opinion. And I thank God, I've never been in a domestic violent situation, and I don't believe that I would. And I don't think it would be me being, smarter than other females. I just make good sound choices as it relates to men. And you have to be able to read men from the gate. A lot of guys show signs that they have the potential to be aggressive and violent and abusive when you first start, dealing with them. You have to pay attention to the signs and act accordingly. And I just feel like, to a certain degree, It may be a lot of the females' fault for being in those positions to be, you know, beaten. And especially if you stay and you continuously go back. And I don't want to hear nothing about, oh, I stayed for the kids. I stayed out of fear. I stayed out of this, that, and the other. No, you're stigmatized more than likely. And that's what kept you there in that situation. And no penis is that good for me to endure getting knocked upside the head and slammed down to the ground. It's gotta hurt. Those licks look like they may hurt. And I thank God that I may never ever find out for myself. I'm just not gonna let a man beat me up and beat me down to the ground. I am not signing up for those licks upside my head and punches to my face and all of this and all of that. You know, I just believe that most ugly girls have to endure those type of situations. And it's all about insecurity. They feel like they can't find a man as it is. It's hard enough to find a guy. And then when they get a guy, they have to do whatever it takes to keep him. So taking the licks upside the head is, a part of it, I guess. I don't know. And not saying that attractive women don't oftentimes become victim of domestic violence because they sometimes do. But most of the time, it's the unattractive girls that get those licks and punches all upside their heads, okay, and beat down to the ground. But enough about that. Let's talk about Jess Hilarious, who is not funny, just like Tiffany Haddish, being called a home wrecker because she's hooked up with Country Wayne. They do make a good couple, if I may say so, but Jess Hilarious just looks like just another man who looks like Country Wayne. They look like twins. They make a good couple. Don't they look just alike? They look just alike. Jess Hilarious and Jess Country Wayne. I think they make a great couple because they look just alike. And Jess Hilarious has reportedly said that she is not a home wrecker and she will not be labeled a home wrecker for a home that was already wrecked. And she's saying that the wife wanted the divorce just as much as Country Wayne. Well, the last time I checked on their social media page, they were so in love and just looking for their happily ever after. So I'm wondering what happened since the last time I checked their social media page. A lot of these people pretend to be so in love all over social media, but it's just a front for social media. But behind those social media pages, when we get to the crux of things, back behind those walls and those marriage streets, it's not as it seems on social media. But I am so surprised because, they have kids and they seem to be, into the marriage life, and he was all into posting her on his page and vice versa. So I'm wondering what happened. I guess stardom and fame just got the best of Country Wayne. And of course, I'm probably assuming that he wants to go to the next level, and for whatever reason somebody has selected Jess Hilarious to be in the industry as the it girl in comedy, just like Tiffany Haddish, and she's so undeserving of that status because, once again, just like Tiffany Haddish, she is not funny at all. And, but you don't have to have talent nowadays, so anybody can be anything that they want to be. There's a niche for everybody and everything nowadays. You don't have to have talent necessarily. And that is so unfortunate. But anyway, I'm assuming that Country Wayne is probably just using Just Hilarious because he wants to go to the next level and she has certain connections to get him to that level that he is trying to climb with those long country legs. And in the process, they may just have a little country baby. And then he'll be locked in into just hilarious web for the next 18 years. And, he'll have himself to blame because he signed up for that trap. Okay? So, anyway, I am here for all of that mess over there in those home wrecker streets. So let me know. Well, y'all can't let me know what you think about it because I have disabled those comments. But some of y'all will have time to post a comment before I have time to disable those comments. And I, once again, have chosen to disable the comments because I don't want to hear from trash. I don't want to see any comments from trash in 2019. No, I don't ever want to hear or see any postings from the trash trolls ever again. So for now, this is how we're gonna roll in these social media streets until we get our internet radio channel going up and running, which will be probably before the spring. I'm so excited about that and so much more. We'll just have this to suffice, okay? So, in the meantime, in between time, I'm out here in these streets reporting live as your wonderful host, Carmen Kaboom. And we have so much more to talk about and share in this 2019 year. So, I'm hoping that everybody, all of my wonderful subscribers, are having a very great first of the year. And it's cold outside, but it's hot in the boom boom room. Holla at your girl. Peace. And don't you be a victim of these domestic violence licks upside your head. And don't you get stomped down to the ground. Holla at your girl. Peace.